Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Preston Endress. A woman has had charges against her dropped after a man came forward and admitted that he framed her. Last week, Corinne Carl was arrested and charged after an email in her name was sent to her employer riddled with anti-Semitic slurs and Nazi symbolism. On December 15th, her former coworker John Andrew Maddy visited police and confessed that the identity of the sender and the email itself was written and all set up by him in an attempt to get back at Carl after a complaint she allegedly made ended up with him getting fired. Carl has had all charges against her dropped and she has been released, and now Maddy has been hit with a levy of charges such as terroristic threats, harassment, identity theft, forgery, among other charges. He has a preliminary hearing tentatively scheduled on December 31st. A Lackawanna County man will be spending the next decade or two behind bars. 28-year-old Claude Harris of Scranton shot his ex-girlfriend earlier this year and was sentenced Tuesday for 10 to 20 years in prison. District Attorney Brian Gallagher, in a statement, wrote that Harris was on probation when he shot his ex-girlfriend from his car in March. Charges were withdrawn stemming from an alleged child rape case against a former Berwick man. Columbia County District Attorney Daniel Lynn said that all charges against Thomas Valdez, 31-year-old, now an Nanticoke resident, are going to be looked into further by Berwick police and provided no further explanation as to why. Lynn was prepared to ask District Judge Brenda Hess Williams whether a 4-year-old should be required to testify in person. Lynn mentioned the state's Tender Years Hearsay Act, which permits minors under the age of 12 to testify by video or recording and not have to be present in the courtroom under certain conditions. Lynn said the girl would suffer severe emotional distress and it could affect her ability to speak in public. The charges being withdrawn now removes the need to make that determination. The dropped charges are from an incident in mid-July when the girl's mother was doing laundry and found a pair of stained underwear under her bed, suspecting her daughter had been sexually assaulted. The mother had notified police and a child services member. The girl said that Valdez pulled her pants down and rubbed up against her. Valdez was previously charged on November 10th and was sent to Columbia County Prison before posting his $100,000 bail through a bondsman for his release on November 25th. On Tuesday morning, firefighters were called to a fire at a home in DuPont where it resulted in one person losing their life. Around 11 o'clock a.m. before noon, one neighbor said that she smelled smoke from her home, and when she looked down in her cellar, she found a house on fire. Multiple fire departments from Luzerne County were on the scene on McLean Street to help put out the flames as it was spreading fast. One resident died inside the home, and according to the Luzerne County Coroner's Office, they identified him as 77-year-old Thomas Kudrako. There has been no statement on his cause of death as an autopsy is scheduled for Wednesday. No statement was released on what caused the fire as officials are still investigating the incident. State police are looking for a suspect after a robbery that occurred in Schuylkill County. On Monday night around 9 o'clock p.m., a man pointed a firearm to a cashier at Sam's Place Lottery and Tobacco in Rush Township, demanding for money. Troopers say the suspect took the money and fled the store, heading south toward the parking lot. As shown on your screen, the suspect was wearing a red and blue flannel jacket, gray sweatpants, and black sneakers. Anyone with information is asked to contact Pennsylvania State Police in Frackville at 570-874-5300. Authorities say tips leading to an arrest may be eligible for a cash reward. Coming up on WYLN News, the Vital Health Organization is having an annual Christmas get-together. Plus, people are searching for the people that vandalized sculptures of snowmen and are looking for your help. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network, part of Jefferson Health. With LVHN Same Day, Next Day Cancer Care, you can get a video visit with a clinician within 48 hours following a cancer diagnosis. Learn more at lvhn.org/cancercare.
Hi, my name is Victoria and I'm 7 years old. Tomorrow the weather will be partly cloudy.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today. If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Cheers Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in at 610 North Broad Street in West Hazleton, 570-454-7229. Cheers is proud to be celebrating 70 years in business. WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35. Did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
Welcome back to WYLN News. As per annual tradition, Lehigh Valley Health Network returned to Capriotti's Catering to host their Christmas brunch with the Vital Choice organization. Attendees got to sit down and socialize with not only friends, but also unfamiliar faces, which was all part of the plan for what was yet to come. Everyone enjoyed the variety of food from the buffet and hopefully saved a lot of room for dessert. We spoke with member Linda Stegna on what is considered the most positively influential factor of the whole event.
Well, the best part of it is all the camaraderie. You get to see a lot of friends and that, and its group is keep getting larger, which is great. The service here is beautiful, hospitality, and also the food. Everything's nice. But we also learn a lot during the year when they have the normal, monthly get-togethers. It's a lunch and learn. So we have usually someone from the hospital comes in and talks to us about various topics, and it's been very informational and very helpful. And they also have a question and answer period that really helps everyone, to get their questions in.
Stegna also told us of her experience at the event, as it has been around for years.
Oh, yes, I've enjoyed it every time. I'm a long-time member, well over 8 years, and I've been coming to it was Senior Choice originally, now it's Vital Choice, so I've been coming a really long time, and it's been really a great experience. I mean, everyone looks forward to that. We have a huge turnout all the time, and it's really a great organization, and the gals, Lisa Marie Halecki and Robin, and the other gals here, Mary Ellen, they all do a great job. They've been really great. It's really a positive thing, and like I said, so many of my friends and others look forward to this, every month.
For the friends and unfamiliar faces at the event, they got to exchange gifts over and over in a fun activity using various descriptions. We all know it would not be a complete Christmas event if not for the appearance of one of our favorite holiday icons.
Jingle all the way, oh what fun it is to ride in one-horse open sleigh.
Thankfully, St. Nick himself, Santa Claus, was able to show up to everyone's surprise, wishing all in attendance a happy Merry Christmas. While Santa got photos taken with various attendees, LVHN blankets were handed out. Stroudsburg police are looking for 3 individuals who were caught on camera vandalizing sculptures of snowmen. Between December 4th and 14th, Stroudsburg police say that 4 of the snowmen of Stroudsburg were vandalized and damaged. Some of the snowmen had their noses removed, such as Conehead as seen on your screen. Others, like Pocono Joe, had his fishing pole removed. Anyone with information on the individuals' identities or the whereabouts of missing pieces are asked to report to the Stroudsburg police at 570-992-9911. Police are looking to identify the 2 male suspects that are shown on your screen. They are wanted for retail theft after stealing 4 PlayStation 5s at Best Buy and fled in a black Ford Fusion vehicle. Police say the vehicle's license plate starts with J and containing numbers 8, 5, and 4. They are believed to be from the Philadelphia area. Anyone with information is asked to contact 570-208-4635, extension 326, or send a message to the Wilkes-Barre Township Police Facebook page. PennDOT officials recently highlighted their accomplishments of the 2025 construction season, with over $890 million in infrastructure investments across Lackawanna, Pike, Luzerne, Susquehanna, Wayne, and Wyoming counties. PennDOT officials praised the efforts of the Shapiro administration in pushing the efforts to create all the road work across Pennsylvania. PennDOT this year has improved over 4,800 miles of road and began to repair, replace, or preserve 368 bridges across Pennsylvania. Coming up on Stillwater's News Choice, Lisa Marie is joined with Dr. Kira Weaver again as they discuss preventing winter illnesses for the holidays. Plus, Wyln historian Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Whitehaven Part 3. And stay right here on Wyln. We'll be right back.
You will love the feel-good feeling you get when you shop at Grand Central in Nescopeck and Hazleton. You will enjoy a no-pressure professional sales staff, experienced delivery crew, service after the sale.
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
No matter what you're shopping for in your home, we have you covered with top brand names like Flex Steel, Lazy Boy England, and Dillon Custom Rugs.
With our enormous selection and the flexibility to finance interest-free for up to 60 months, Grand Central makes it easy to make your house a home.
Something is out there. What it is, no one knows. However, since its first sighting, there have been numerous reports of strange lights in the night sky. Some say they are extraterrestrials, flying saucers. But to all of those seemingly unrelated uncertainties, there is one common thread.
Solo Spaceman. Watch Solo Spaceman on WYLN Thursdays at 1:30, Saturdays at 7, and Sundays at 4:30.
WYLN TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. I end up going to a dentist and he wants to charge over $600 for a night guard. That's when I found this, the Brooks Night Guard. This was a game changer. It's smaller than other night guards that I tried, which is a good thing because it doesn't make me gag. It could fit on the top or the bottom of the teeth. It's lightweight and super comfortable. Now the Brooks Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brooks Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to brooksnightguard.com and order yours today. Your teeth will thank you for it in the morning.
Go to brooksnightguard.com and use the promo code to activate your special TV offer. That's brooksnightguard.com. Order today and take advantage of this special TV offer. Your teeth will thank you for it in the morning.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, we're going to talk about chiropractic and car accidents. It's getting icy out there, the roads are not always salted, so check in about car accidents and chiropractic.
When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
Hi, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Well, as you already know, winter is upon us, and here in northeastern Pennsylvania, we see all types. So with me is Dr. Kira Weaver, who is our medical director for our emergency department, and she's here to talk to us about the top 3 things they see in the emergency room during the winter months and how you can possibly help prevent these things from happening to you or someone you love. Dr. Kira Weaver, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
So tell us, what are those 3 top things you see?
So over the winter months, we have increase in respiratory illness. So this is, everything from like the common cold all the way to influenza, COVID, and pneumonia. So that's one of the first things that we see. The other things that we see more commonly over the winter months is we'll see, particularly with like snowfall, snow shoveling, we'll see an increase in cardiac events because it's kind of like having a stress test because of the strenuous activity with moving snow. And then the third thing that we see in the emergency department during the winter, we see an increase in falls. Falls are a very common thing. Actually, it's one of the most common things that we see for geriatric trauma in our department outside of car accidents, but with increased, snowy conditions, ice, slippery pavement, this, we'll see an increase in that and an uptick, depending on how the winter goes, as well as, cold exposure, hypothermia from patients that may be on the ground outside after having a fall.
So let's go back to the respiratory. What should people be mindful of? What should they be thinking of if they're starting to see some symptoms?
All right. So, obviously if someone has symptoms, you want to, keep in mind if you do have like a mild cold that perhaps like, at-risk populations like the very young, like infants, as well as, the elderly, you may not want to expose yourselves to them because you may not get as sick, but they're going to get, potentially a lot more sick and could potentially end up in the hospital for those conditions. Seeing your primary care doctor early on may be also beneficial, before things get worse and you let it kind of sit and, kind of like, I guess, accumulate over time that you end up in the emergency department.
So let's go to the heart events. When someone has a heart attack or something, too much stress, you're saying about shoveling. What are the best things for them to think about if they have to go out and do this? Should they take breaks? Should they, monitor their heart rate?
So I think the best thing, if you have an underlying cardiac condition or, you're at risk for having a heart attack, I would talk to your doctor first, okay, your primary care doctor, to see if it's appropriate for it to do snow removal. If your primary doctor, doesn't have concern, it's probably okay, but you want to take breaks. You want to make sure you hydrate good, make sure that you're physically fit to do this. On the other hand, too, if you have underlying cardiac conditions, it may not be the best thing for you to do. So, probably hiring someone to remove your snow or having a family member do that for you may be the best thing.
So do you see those type of incidents with people who may not have any kind of cardiac history?
Yeah, so we do see that because sometimes patients maybe don't follow with a primary care doctor, regularly. They may not know they have underlying heart conditions. So if you are out shoveling and you're working, you start feeling short of breath or not right, you start sweating, having chest pain, you should stop.
That's great advice. So now on to the third. What can we do?
So the third thing that we should do during this season, so we're talking about the falls now, right? Yeah, the falls. So, obviously ice melt, being cautious, wearing appropriate footwear to be out in the snow, something with a good tread. Those are some things that, you can do to protect yourself. Maybe if you don't have to go out when it's icy or snow covered, wait till something's clear. That might also be one of the best things to do to prevent, fear falls.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your insight. As always, we really appreciate you. And, be mindful, understand what's going on. There's always those delivery services. So, not going out in the house when it's a snowstorm or it's icy if you forgot something, taking care of yourself and maybe getting those primary care visits once a year, wellness visits. So you do know if you have any underlying conditions that maybe you may not have had the year before. So, just taking care of yourself is important, but this winter especially, just take care of you, and thank you for watching Wellness Wednesday.
It's cold out there. Call S.J. Kowalski for the best products and solutions to help lower your energy costs and keep your family safe and comfortable this winter. Our professional team has unparalleled experience with all the latest innovative types of heating systems. We're a Lennox premier dealer, installing high-quality equipment, providing the ultimate experience in comfort and climate control while being energy efficient. S.J. Kowalski, heating and cooling the way the earth intended.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on Wyln TV 35. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
Hello, I'm WYLN historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
Hi, my name is Victoria and I'm 7 years old. Tomorrow the weather will be partly cloudy.
Although the flood of 1862 had ended canal service in Whitehaven, the town still had the Lehigh and Susquehanna Railroad to work with. Shortly after the flood, Lehigh coal navigation officials petitioned for and received permission to extend the railroad south along the canal's route to Easton. Passenger service to Northampton County seat would begin in February 1868. 1 month later, the construction of bridges over the Delaware River extended the line further to Phillipsburg, establishing connections to other railroads in New Jersey, including the Central Railroad of New Jersey. The CNJ would subsequently lease control of the Lehigh and Susquehanna in 1871, in response to the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Railroad itself leasing out the Phillipsburg area Morris-and-Essex Railroad, undercutting the Central Railroad of New Jersey's position in western New Jersey in doing so. This gave the CNJ access to Wyoming Valley coal deposits, increasing its bottom line. It would be joined in going through Whitehaven by the Lehigh Valley Railroad, which had itself reached the town in 1864 when President Asa Packer had bought out the local Penhaven and Whitehaven Railroad. Both the LVRR and CNJ would provide countless Whitehaven residents with employment on their lines. The Lehigh Valley, for example, built in 1864 a wooden engine house near the tracks to house their pusher engines, used to get fully loaded trains headed northbound over the steep mountains leading to the Wilkes-Barre area. This was replaced in 1889 by an upgraded brick structure that remains in use today as the town library. Other businesses sprung up in town as the 19th century progressed. A shoe factory opened in 1888, a hosiery factory in 1899, and a brickyard owned by George Coons in 1891 were among the more prominent operations in town at this time. Other notable businesses include 6 grocery stores, 2 drugstores, 3 butchers, and 4 hotels, as well as 5 doctor's offices and 3 law firms. In 1879, the Whitehaven Journal began printing its newspapers in town. It went out of business in 1900, but was almost immediately replaced by another paper with the same name. This Whitehaven Journal operated continuously through 1981, when it merged with the Weatherly Herald to form the Journal Herald. Ice harvesting would also be big business in the area in the late 19th century. Among the biggest ice magnates of Luzerne County was Albert Lewis, whose Bear Creek Ice Company dammed a stream not far from Whitehaven to create a lake his workers could harvest ice from in the winter. In 1946, well after refrigerators had reduced the need for harvested ice, Lewis's daughter sold the lake and 800 adjoining acres to Harry and Mary Geringer. The Geringers subdivided and sold the land, which would become the community of Penn Lake Park. It would be formally incorporated as a borough in 1976. Then in 1908, George Wilmot opened the Wilmot Engineering Company, producing the rivetless chain that he and his company had patented the year before. This development helped make conveyor belt work that much smoother, which was a boon to miners working in area mines and breakers. Besides rivetless chain, the company also manufactured other mining equipment, including coal cleaners, crushers, and castings. It remains in business today as the Wilmot Company Incorporated, despite a move to Freeland in 2008. At the same time that Wilmot's opened, Whitehaven became a literal haven for those suffering the ravages of tuberculosis, or consumption as it was then popularly known. At the time, it was believed that cool, dry air was the best way to counteract the disease. Several philanthropists who had been looking for a place to set up a sanitarium for tuberculosis sufferers would ultimately settle on Whitehaven as their location, considering that, besides being of the right elevation, it had easy rail access to urban areas, but was still isolated enough to reasonably contain any outbreak of the disease. What was originally called the Whitehaven Sanatorium opened in 1907 under the direction of Dr. Lawrence Flick. It grew rapidly enough that local power systems could not adequately maintain electrical capacity, and as such, a coal-to-steam plant was built on site. It would be expanded in 1938 with the addition of a kitchen and dining room, thanks to a $125,000 grant from industrialist Pierre DuPont to thank the institution for caring for his secretary. Jefferson Medical College assumed control of the sanatorium in 1946, but by then, advances in antibiotics and vaccination had greatly reduced tuberculosis cases across the country. The facility was closed in 1956, but was reopened the same year by the state to care for the mentally challenged. It operated in this capacity as the Pennhurst Center for 4 years before overcrowding became an issue. Pennsylvania officials would build the Whitehaven Center nearby to care for the inmates, and by 1976 the old sanatorium was vacant. Yet new life would arise in the facility again, as in 1989 the old power plant was converted into a restaurant. Today the Powerhouse Eatery still operates in the structure.
Hi, my name is Victoria and I'm 7 years old. Tomorrow the weather will be partly cloudy.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.